Hello, everybody. Welcome, fellow humans, and welcome to the stream. So good to see you all. There's been a few people drop in before I even started. Welcome, and so good to see you, Tim and Aussie Gold, caught in the middle. Good to see you. I'll be talking to you later this week. Hey, Ember, and Ember, I think has a debate coming up. I will mention that. Always great to see you, Ember. Always, always, always. What are we doing today? We are aimbotting again every Tuesday night Eastern time, every Wednesday morning Australian time. Is the aimbot, and today is no exception. I do like to go through things, just something before I do start these streams. So I want to share with you something that I found last night. So sort of, as you may or may not know, that I'm sort of a secular humanist, and most atheists know what that means. It means we just prioritize humanity. It has precepts of sort of science advising our morality, which is based upon determinism and consequentialism. So there's a few sort of things that go along with secular humanism. But what are we talking about when we're talking about non-secular humanism, theistic humanism? Are there any theistic humanist religions out there? And the answer is yes. And sort of, so I want to introduce you to a religion that you may not be aware of, and I wasn't aware of it until last night, and that is the Baha'i religion. It was started in Iran, I believe, Iran in 1844, which was Persia at the time. So they don't have any kind of prescriptions or any kind of doctrine per se, but they do they believe that sort of everything is one religion kind of thing. All gods are the same God kind of deal. So let me just get this running, and it's a bit of a weird one. I do see the point, and I do see what they're kind of going for here. So the Baha'i religion, which is this one, and sort of, so it's still millions of people are converted to this religion. This article's on one in Tampa Bay. So they eat a big breakfast, they eat a big dinner, they don't eat lunch, which is kind of weird, but that's what they do. So they kind of believe that religion is all one religion. It's all been revealed to humanity. And I mean, I would have questions about that sort of. And I would love to meet somebody of the Baha'i religion, and I might see if I can find somebody to talk to about it, like see if I can interview somebody. I'll put feelers out, see if I can do it, because the questions I would have is sort of, why reveal it to different people differently? Wouldn't the God know that they would cause some kind of religious fractions when they reveal different things to different people? But they do just sort of say, hey, we're just there for the community, and they don't tell you anything about sort of how to pray or what to follow or what to do kind of thing. They just feel sort of like you have a community. So I'm just going to go through this thing. So it is being persecuted in Iran, of course, because of course it has. This is what happens with religions; they're sort of persecuted. So it has three central figures: the Bab, who died in 1850, considered a herald who taught his followers that God would soon send a prophet. Baha'u'llah, who claimed to be that prophet in 1863, and Abdul Baha, who was released from confinement, and basically he took over the leadership of it. So this Baha'u'llah, he claimed to be the prophet. The problem with these kind of religions is sort of it kind of starts out like this, but they do have sort of a universal hall of justice where they do make sort of they make just decrees kind of thing. So they lay down what the religion decides as far as certain things, and so it's very, very problematic to me. Like what happens when some of the followers over in Idaho decide that they're not going to follow what the Hall of Justice says, kind of thing. Um, what what are they going to do if some people don't, sort of acknowledge Baha'u'llah as the prophet, and suddenly start to disagree, kind of thing. That they have an election in this Hall of Justice, but is everybody eligible? Does everybody get a vote? Like, what exactly is going on here? Um, so as far as religions go, they're pretty innocuous. They just believe in community. They don't really believe in laying down any serious doctrine to people, but they still do have things that are right and wrong in their religion. So, for instance, prohibitions like sort of backbiting and gossiping are prohibited and denounced. Drinking and selling alcohol are forbidden. Sort of sexual intercourse is only permitted between a husband and wife. Participation in partisan politics is forbidden. Begging is forbidden as a profession. There's some problems here. So, a prohibition against alcohol that didn't work in America. Is that something that they will enforce, and how much will they enforce it? So, and there's a few observations they do. Sort of, Baha over the age of 15 should individually recite an obligatory prayer each day using fixed words and form. They don't actually determine what the prayer is. They just basically say, hey, you pray however you want to whatever you want. Like, it's just a time for reflection, which I can kind of get on board with. And as far as I can tell, it's sort of like a meditation kind of thing, and that's fine. And so really, they're kind of a humanist religion. They believe in a God, but they don't. And even the children, once they sort of grow up, they get a choice whether to join the religion or not join the religion. Like, they can say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this. So that is better than Islam, which, if you're not aware, has incredible prohibitions against people that are apostates. So they don't have this idea of apostates and things like that. And of course, they've been persecuted in Iran because of their stances. But fairly innocuous as religions go. But I think my major problem would be the idea of having a prophet or a special person, the idea of having a special conclave, this hall of justice to sort of make decisions on the teachings. I don't think we need a God to implement a secular humanist thing like this. I don't think we need one. I think that we can do this stuff without a God at all, and it still brings up the problem of evil. It still brings up the problem of divine hiddenness. It still brings up the problems with religious wars. It still brings up every problem that God has ever had. I'd love to learn more about it. Okay, they're quite close to your own beliefs. Okay. Caught in the Middle says they're quite close to your own beliefs. That's interesting. Yeah, and I know they're really open. They're very, very open. But I guess I mean, they're really, really young religion. They've been going for 160 something years, I think. So a very, very sort of very, very, very new religion. But I don't know where it's going to go from here. I don't know what their end goal is, or but see, this is the thing about morality. You don't necessarily need someone to share your exact morality. What it's about is finding worldviews that are compatible with morality. And I think that something like the Baha'i, which don't say you have to do this or you have to do that, and don't say, hey, you can't leave this religion, and don't say you can't you have to be a part of this religion, you have to believe. um, it is a way better religion than just these very, very sort of domineering ones like Christianity and Orthodox Catholicism and Islam and the ones that basically say give us money and convert the other people kind of thing. I wonder how successful they're going to be without trying to convert people actively. Are they just going to rely on community and sort of being understanding to get people in? Will that be successful? I don't know. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it does sound like a lot better than the Christians, especially the fundamentalist Christians, um, sort of religions that we hear about. Um, but yeah, I'd love to talk to someone. It's still a garbage religion. Yeah, I do have problems with any religion and the way that it sort of um, places an emphasis on a God kind of thing. Sort of, there's no it's sort of, to my mind, there's an irrationality about it. I get that, but if there has to be religions, I would rather the Baha'i people than the um, Westboro Baptist Church. Like, let's face it. There's religions, and then there's religions. Like not all religions are equal. Something like Jainism or the Buddhist kind of thing are pretty innocuous compared to Shiite Islam. There's not a lot of wiggle room in Islam for leaving and deciding you want to go elsewhere, especially for the children born into that religion. Like, the fact that they give a choice to the children at all is probably a step in the right direction. But yeah, I mean, I have problems as well, Abraca. I have problems as well. I think that what happens when someone does disagree with the great prophet that who seemed to declare himself prophet. Sort of you know what then is there going to be a schism? What comes out of that schism? If history is any teacher, then what comes out of that is fighting, because that's what religions do. When they schism, they fight. But will that happen? I don't know. Have we gone beyond the point of religious wars? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the fact that we've still got Israel and Palestine fighting, and admittedly that is over land and political issues, but to a degree it's still sort of a religious based war. So yeah. But yeah, that's the new religion I found out about last night, and I would like to talk to somebody who is part of that religion, not just sort of somebody who knows about it, but someone who's part of it, to sort of get the schism. I will look around the internet and see if I can find some more information on it. But as far as it goes, it looks pretty open and innocuous. And look, at this point, I would just settle for a religion that accepts trans and gay people without a problem. Quite frankly, that would be better than what we seem to have. That change would be a better religion than the Christians who and the Islamic people that just make these people horrible kind of thing. But what are we here to do? We're here to AIMBOT. What does that mean? I'm going into Reddit. If you do not know, if you haven't been here before, I'm going to Reddit's Am I the Arsehole? I am going to read a few. I have never seen these before. Never seen them. So I am getting my first reaction as well as your first reaction on the moral situations that people are bringing up and asking us, yes, all of us, to judge them accordingly. Get your gavel ready. It's time. It's time. It's time to judge some people. And that's okay, because it's consensual judging. They're asking to be judged. And so that's okay. Yeah, Tim, we've all seen you. Yes. I mean, that's not even a question. I mean, you even had an I in that sentence. So yes. Yeah, so I will be having a poll after each one, see what you think. I'll find out what Reddit thinks. I will find out what the humans think, and we shall go through. So, first one off the block. Do I have anything else to tell you? Not really. Today's been a zany, crazy week. I got to tell you, real crazy. So I really thank you for joining me. This is sort of my relax stream to sort of, just say, okay, I'm not going into any debates. I don't have to argue with flat earthers. I don't have to argue with fundamentalist Christians. I can just look at situations and go, oh, they borrowed the car without permission. You're a jerk. You know, just lighthearted stuff. It's great. I love it. So first off the block, came for the rants. Okay, well, it's thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Am I the asshole for canceling a vacation because my wife can't pay her share after helping her son and ex-husband? Wait, my wife can't pay her share after helping her adult son and ex-husband. Wow, somebody does not like the units here. I swear. I'm gonna thumbs up it. So my wife, so she helped her adult son and ex-husband with stuff, and can't pay her share of a vacation. Okay, well, I mean, it sounds like your wife's kind of really nice. Ex-husband, I'm not sure about, but helping her adult son is fine. My wife, 44 female, makes quite a bit less than me, 45 male, so our joint expenses are split 70-30. Oh, that's fair enough. For the most part, things like vacations and where we bought a house are decided based on what she can afford, but there have been several times I've paid in full for vacations to places I really enjoy and wanted to share the experience with her. She has a 23-year-old son from her previous marriage. When she and I got together, I told her I wouldn't mind paying extra for things here and there until her son was 18 and working or in school so she could take care of him. For the majority of our relationship, he has lived with his father. Okay, well, I mean, good on his dad for taking care of him. He decided against college or trade school and hasn't expressed any interest in starting to figure out a plan for the immediate future, let alone his life. Look, if you're expecting somebody at 23 to know what they want to do with the rest, I'm sorry to disappoint you, mate. Yeah, he floats from job to job. At least he's working. Come on now, like he's 23. I Not every 23-year-old is sort of exactly where they want to be and has got things figured out. Hell, even 40-year-olds don't have things figured out. His father is pretty much the same since the kid graduated. Therein lies the problem. Every few months they'll call her for a few $100s here, a few hundred there, $20 this week, 80 the next. Sometimes it's her son calling for help, sometimes it's her ex-husband. This has caused her to be short on funds for our plans or things she volunteered to cover on more than one occasion. Her reasoning is when her ex is asking since their son still lives with him, she has to help him. I get that to a point. Okay, yeah, no, I get it too. I get it too. We were supposed to go on a vacation after later this month, nothing major or fancy, but just time away. We had agreed to split the cost, and all that was left were to pay for the hotels, rental car, and some reservations. Her ex-husband called needing help to get his car out of impound, and getting caught up on rent. Their son hasn't been able to work without the car because he doesn't want to ride a bike or take the bus. Almost $5,000 later, they're set up, and my wife told me she can't pay for her portion of our vacation. So I told her I was canceling it. She called me a heartless ass. Wow. Okay. That she's just taking care of her son, and we've been arguing over it. My stance is this: they're both able-bodied adults that keep making a series of life decisions that keep them at a standstill, like quitting jobs over little things, smoking and going out, and her always digging them out of their hole is starting to impact their lives more and more. And I didn't sign up for that. Am I the asshole for cancelling our vacation instead of just putting the entire cost myself? To clarify, she contributes 30% of our pay to joint expenses, bills, utilities, emergency fund, retirement. 70% of her pay she keeps for personal expenses to spend or save how she wishes. Dates, vacations, fun things we choose together are budgeted and planned based on what we can afford from personal funds. Pull that money together, then pay together. Okay. So my initial reaction is, well, I think he is I think he's fine doing that. I don't think he's being an asshole, to be honest with you. I don't think he's morally bankrupt. I think that sometimes the best thing you can do for people is let them make their own mistakes. But the problem with sort of this is called rescuing behavior when you rescue people all the time. The problem with, and don't get me wrong, it's sometimes good to help people out, or it is good to help people out. But when it's becoming a pattern, that's when you have to say, hey, the best thing for this person may be not to rescue them. That there has to be consequences for decisions. Um, you have to take responsibility at some point, and that's not to say you shouldn't help people when they need help. But if this is a pattern that's ongoing and they don't change their behavior and just expect that pattern to sort of keep going like that, then the best thing you can sometimes do is to stop sort of enabling that behavior, to say, hey, this is the last time. Next time you're on your own, and you've got to take responsibility for getting yourself out of this. Yeah, too cool to ride a bike, too cool to take the bus. You can take a bus. I get that you're poor, but that's what buses are for. I'm not too proud to take a bus. Like, yeah, I'll take a bus. Sure. Why not? I don't, I I don't know what the problem is. They, have canceled the holiday. Uh, Here's the thing, I bet you 2 nickels that the reason son lives with bio dad is because Mr. Post didn't want to support a kid that wasn't his. He wanted to marry a woman with a child, but not accept that kid and result in much to follow. Well, you don't know that for sure. You don't know that. That could be the case, and don't get me wrong, context is everything. I agree, Ember, but um, you know, um, we don't know that for sure. All that was left to pay. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they were traveling, like taking flights or whatever, but that would be the major cost in a vacation. At least for me, anyway. It's like I'm miles away from anywhere, so well, any other city. Yeah. What does Reddit say? And I do realize I'm asking what Reddit says. Not the arsehole. Why are you married? Clearly puts that very son before. Yeah, okay, Reddit, calm down. Don't keep us in the dark. What is a polycule? Essentially, it's a polyamorous term for people who are sort of networked together. I.e., I'm dating my girlfriend, my wife has a boyfriend, girlfriend. All of us together form a polycule. Instead of a molecule, it's a polycule. Think molecule diagram, but for relationships that aren't one to one. Interesting. I have never heard. Has anyone ever heard that term before? I haven't. What a portmanteau is. Most just read ATA to feel better about themselves, not to learn things. But seriously, this is great. I've learned something today. Yeah, so have I. Polycule. Okay. Wow. All right. Reddit chat's just gone off on a tangent. I love it. for herself or the sugar daddy. Okay, so yeah, okay, I'd settle down. I don't think she's like using him as a sugar daddy. Yeah, she's enabling the patterns. Yeah, I kind of think she is. And I think marriage counseling is a good idea. Yeah, Mirabai, you are good. Yeah, so marriage counselor to understand she isn't helping her son, she's hurting him. He has the capability of working and support himself. Yeah, kind of, kind of. Um, kind of. I think that having some sort of compassion towards him is a bit better. I think that's a little less compassionate. If he's careless and gets his car impounded, yeah, then he needs to take the bus. You need to be responsible for your actions and say, "Hey, I got my car impounded. I now have to take the bus." And not just go to somebody for money because you're too proud to take the bus. You know, come on, let's face it. No, nobody should be too proud to take the bus. It's yeah, okay, not the arsehole. Okay, yeah, I kind of agree. I'm talking about a house fund like solves the problem. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I think if he is being an arsehole, it's sort of being a bit like, oh, you contribute this and I contribute this, and sort of really you should be sort of your finances um should be talked about, and both people should have their thing. I kind of think that the wife is being a bit of an arsehole, by the way. But having said that, this is one person's side of the story, and we have to take it as everything he says is true. But this is one side of the story. I mean, if the son has some kind of mental health issue, for instance, does that change things? I think it does. If the if the wife has feelings of some things, but yeah, I think that there are bigger issues at work. Waiting for his YouTube Discord channel to take off. Yeah, that's ever going to happen. That'll never happen. To magically become a hard worker. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so I think there's a difference between just hard work, like, and a good work ethic kind of thing. I think that people can burn themselves out being a hard worker. Like, you have to maintain a work life balance. You can't just you know make things happen by working hard. But at the same time, you should have a good work ethic. You should show up to work on time. You should do what you tell people you're going to do. You should be responsible when it comes to the tasks you've been assigned, and you should um, do them to the best of your ability, kind of thing. Um, and I worry that the son, sort of hasn't got that good work ethic. But it's not the problem of going from job to job. It's okay if you don't know what you want to do when you're going around from job to job. That's okay. He might be perfectly fine doing that because he's not sure where he work like fits in. That's fine, as long as he has a good work ethic while he's doing it, and he's not quitting for silly, just I don't want to work here anymore, which it sounds like he is doing. Because if your car is impounded and you say, well, I'm gonna not work because I don't have a car, um yeah, cross the line from having to. So that's a fine line. Like, and parents always want to help their children. I yeah, you're right. It's a fine line. Where does the line of helping a children end and enabling them not to help themselves? Where is that line? It's a fine line. So I feel for them. I really do. I feel for all of them. Maybe not the ex-husband because he's not really in the picture. Um, I don't understand um, why he's sort of paying money to the or she's paying money to her ex-husband kind of thing. I'd understand if it was things directly for your son. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think they sort of made that clear. But if it's for him to get a car because he wants to get to work, ugh. He stayed with his dad because he didn't like the rules at her house. So his wife was putting rules into place, and he chose to stay with his dad. Yeah, so it's not a matter of this guy wanting not to take care of the kid. It's that life's easier at his dad's house. Yeah, yeah. He should leave. Dude, you don't break up a marriage just because you're having look. Money's important, don't get me wrong. We all have to survive, we all have to make money, but ending a marriage over money is no, the freak, come on now. You don't just leave because like you've had a disagreement on money. You go to marriage counseling, you try to work it out. Like seriously, buddy, if you're going to leave every time a problem comes up, you're going to have like 2 month relationships throughout the rest of your life. You don't just look, every single couple, whether they be boyfriend, girlfriend, married, everybody has problems and disagreements and fights. There's definitely ways to fight that are sort of, everyone gets angry. You don't have to raise your voice and yell at people and hit things or anything like that. That's really bad behavior. But you will disagree and you will argue because everybody has different perspectives. Everybody does. I've fought with my wife, not like fought, but disagreements. We argue about something. We vehemently disagree on things. That's fine. You don't end a marriage over, especially not money. Of all the things to end a marriage over, and I get that it happens a lot, but you're not going to get to the end of your life and say, I wish I had gotten more money out of my wife or something. That's not. You're going to remember good times and um, you're going to remember experiences in your life. You're not gonna go, well, thank God I got more money out of my wife. Come on now. And that's the thing. I was watching. I don't know if anybody watches it, right? There's a show called Survivor, like with Bear Grylls. I for some reason it's the only reality show I watch. I can't stop watching it. It's like a paradigm of a microcosm of humanity kind of thing. They put these people on an island. They have like a little bit of water supply. They don't have any food. They basically have to catch and kill everything, or basically survive on this island kind of thing, with nothing except what they've got. They get medics and doctors who go along with them. Camera people run the cameras, but they don't have anything either. It's just like these people on the island. Now, over the first couple of seasons, is this kind of set up? But they really lose weight over the experience. Like they lose a lot of weight. Um, where was I going with this? Yeah, okay. So the last season they dropped money onto the island, kind of thing, and um, people were just, oh, I've got to get the money, got to get the money, kind of thing, and it's really it's really weird the way that people were like, well, we don't have any water, but obsessed with the money. Like I found it weird anyway. And there were certain people that was like, well, screw the money. Like it doesn't really matter. What matters is this. Um, But by the end of it, people were like, let's share it all with these people you've had an experience with. Like they all caught things for one another, provided water for each other, comforted each other in times of trouble. Um, and the sort of the greediest people at the end were just giving out the money that they had found, kind of thing, because there was something about it. Like you couldn't just say, "Hey, I'm going to keep this for myself," when someone over there is sharing food and water and comfort with you. It's really an interesting one. But what I thought about afterwards was, if I'm at the end of my life, am I going to really be happy that I was on this island and kept like a couple of thousand, well, pounds, because it was English, like a couple of £1,000? Is that the thing you're going to remember, or are you going to remember this amazing experience of surviving on a deserted island with this bunch of people you didn't know at the start, but you were your closest friends by the end of it? Like, what will you remember? What will you take away from that experience? So, what's important? What's important here? Um, who was expecting rants? Who came for the? Was that you, Tim? Who came for the rants? I'm not disappointing, am I? Look. You know what I'm like. You know what you were getting into. Good luck, Team Taxman. That's not important. It doesn't worry me that much. I think that money's important, but it's not that important. And taxes are so my community and the people around me can and myself. I go to parks. I make use of roads. I like to be able to drive places. I like that there are street lights. That's what taxes are for. They're for taking care of the community. There's community centers around me. I like the old people to be taken care of who have contributed to society. There's nothing wrong with taxes at all, in my opinion. So, hot take, I'm not fussed. I'm not fussed. Um, yeah, so I'll just see what all of you wonderful humans thought. What do humans say? Humans say all the humans are bad? Okay, well, I mean, oh, the freak. Oh, the freak. Um, Dude, the freak. You don't have no idea what happens in the relationship between two people. Like, seriously. I've seen people that argue like all the time and they still absolutely adore one another. You don't. Yeah, I think you're stretching a bit to, she has no respect for him and stuff. It's the. Yeah, look, I know they invited judgment, but I think you're judging a little bit too much there to like say what their relationship is like. I don't think you can sort of tell that to freak. But hey, they asked you to judge, and judge you did. New rent, new rent. Oh yeah, obviously, yeah, absolutely. No, totally granted. Am I the asshole for telling my kids I don't care if they dislike my husband, but they have to respect him? No. No. What? No. It depends. It depends. If he's doing things um that they should disrespect, then yeah. Yeah. Hmm. I'm not sure. Yeah. Throw away. Okay. Throw away what? I have three kids, youngest is 24, oldest is 29. There, misspelling, misspelling. That's the wrong one. Their father died when they, the youngest, excuse me, that their father died when they, the youngest, was a teenager. It was a rough time. I didn't date for the whole time they were in the house since I didn't want to bring back people back that may not stay. You also didn't spend any time brushing up on your English as well. I got to say that, New Rent. Also, the kids didn't like the idea of me moving on from dad. Okay. Anyways, they were at college. I got back out there and started to date. Correct use of there. Correct. Okay. Add on a point. 10 points for Hufflepuff. I met Jim, and he is a great guy. We started date. We dated for a while before I introduced him to the kids during one of the spring breaks. When my youngest graduated college, I got married to Jim that same year. They were not happy, and my oldest refused to come to the wedding since I was replacing their father. Yeah. So how long after is this? It doesn't really say, does it? I didn't date for the whole time they were in the house. It doesn't really say. I mean, yeah, so your kids can't. Oh, hello, Skywatcher. It's so good to see you. Awesome to see you, buddy. Yeah, yeah, they were not happy, and my oldest refused to come to the wedding since. Yeah, the so kids with replacement father, right? So I've been through this. I can speak from experience. My mum got divorced. She dated this guy called Peter. Peter was a prick. He was a prick. He was a sort of high flying executive. Used to work in Africa and Ghana on a gold mine. Anyway, long story short, he kind of he was the kind of guy, and this always stuck in my mind. He had a daughter, so I basically had a sister-in-law essentially. Um, he would he was a big guy, so he was overweight. He sat down and having fish and chips one day. Do Americans have fish and chips? Is that something that Americans have? I don't know. It's more like a British and Australian and New Zealand thing. Well, anyway, we're sitting here eating this basically fast food. I mean, it's deep fried, so it's fattening. Telling his daughter not to eat so much because she would end up fat, and basically said she was fat enough already. And he used those words. Like, he didn't say, I'm concerned about your health or anything. He said, no, you're too fat and you'll get fatter, kind of thing, while eating a ton of the same thing that that she was eating. Like, that's an asshole, quite frankly. That's a dick thing to do, especially because you know women and their weight and just the thing. But yeah, I mean, he was sort of um treating my mum like she was just there to serve him, kind of thing. He really was an asshole. And later on in her life, my mum said the same thing. She realized. But when somebody gets divorced, they're kind of lonely and they want somebody, kind of thing. And I understood that. You can't expect somebody to stay in mourning for their partner for the rest of their life. Sorry. We love fish and chips with tartar sauce. Where are you, proper FPB? Oh, in America somewhere? They have no fish and chips. Man, that's sad. I feel sad. No, not to my not. Do they? I mean, we use salt and vinegar. Like, that's usually vinegar and sometimes chicken salt, sometimes normal salt and vinegar. Um, Sometimes tartar sauce, depending on what you're having. Yeah. I know Europe, like, what is it? Yeah, chicken salt and vinegar, right on, man. That you know where yeah, you know where it's at. You know where it's at. Um No, it's not Belgium. It's actually Amsterdam. Netherlands use that kind of mayonnaise kind of thing. It's not like your mayonnaise that you get. Like it's different. It's like because my wife Lynn, she gets it from time to time because she loves it, and it's like, well, okay, well, now they just can't deal with gym. Oh, okay. Anyways, they were at the college. I go back and start that. Yeah, we did that. Not happy and refused to come to wedding space. Blah, blah. We got over that hill and they were happy. I was happy. Yes, be happy that they're happy. Except if the guy's an absolute jerk. Now they just can't deal with Jim at all. I get invited to a family event. They get mad at me for bringing Jim. It's been rough, even though he has never given them a reason to hate him. He is a polite guy that is kind of shy at times. Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, he's fine then. My oldest is getting married and I got an invite to the wedding. He called me up and told him Jim can't come. I told him that he is my husband and that we are a package deal. This got into an argument and all the kids jumped in. I told them I don't care if they dislike my husband, but they have to respect him. That means he gets invites to family events. They called me and asked by the end of that. Please look at infos I answered, not ask the same question over again. Well, I don't tell me what to do. Scallops are fish? No, no, no. They're mollusks. They're not. Scallops are not fish. Who told you scallops are fish? Uh, mollusks. Mollusks. Yeah, I think so. I think they are. Unless there's some reason they're not telling her about why you know, uh, the uh, yeah, I mean, when obviously my dad got divorced as well. That'd be weird if my mum got divorced, but not my dad. He had a couple of girlfriends that I didn't particularly like. You don't just sort of go, well, you can't bring them or you can't have them round unless there's some reason. Um, what did Dad think of Peter? Oh, he didn't care. He really just checked out, kind of thing. At that point, I was probably around 17 or so. So he just sort of, hey, look, not much bothers my dad. Like, well, I mean, he died, so not much anymore bothers him. But, when he was alive, not much bothered him either. He was very, very sort of, yeah, yeah, a bit of pragmatism, a bit of sort of, emotionally retarded, maybe, like he just didn't share his emotions, didn't talk about what he felt, just was closed off, I guess, and that was a big problem for him, in his relationships, in everything. He closed himself off and didn't tell anybody what he felt, and just stiff upper lipped it, and it's a problem. It's a problem. No, I don't think it is, buddy. I don't think it is. I think that if you don't share your feelings with others, if you just suppress everything, they will come out in other ways, and it's not going to be pretty. Emotions always find ways to come out. They will always express themselves, whether that's you telling people and expressing them yourself, or them bursting forth in some kind of fit of rage, or uncontrollable sadness or breakdown or something. um you know they will come out. um yeah, let's see what is. I think she's absolutely fine. I think she is setting boundaries of, unless you have a good reason, You don't get to determine who I'm with. It sounds like they're trying to say, well, you can't really be with this guy. Look, it's time to grow up. If they're getting married, they're old enough. Yeah, 24 and 29, it's time to grow up, kids. You can't determine who your mother sees and doesn't see. You can't determine who she's married to and not married to. If she loves this guy, then you should be happy for him. If he's a dick, then yeah, I get it. But they're not saying why. I feel like there is missing info. Seems unlikely. Yeah, yeah, it depends on the kids, to be honest with you. I think it depends on the kids. OP's kids could be similar assholes. Yeah, maybe. Well, all right. Yeah, they're off in the weeds again. A lot of people are relying on their own anecdotal evidence of how common or likely it is for kids to resent step parents and just accepting OP's explanation on face value. The fact that there are a lot of gaps in this story and being an echo chamber for OP does nothing to understand what is happening. We only have her side of the story, and their sudden leap from "we got over that hill now happy and I was happy too" now they can't deal with Jim at all. That's literally actually ended one paragraph. What happened? Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. What happened? Maybe something happened. Yeah, maybe something did happen. Life's tougher now. Yeah, that is strange. That's a good point from the Reddit crew. Like, what? What? They're happy that I'm happy to. No, we hate him, and they can't come to the wedding. That's weird. And it's not like they're sort of 17 or 15 or something, and sort of still in those teenage years where you can, um, you know, hate your father being replaced. Maybe she is the asshole, but for omitting information. I feel like there is stuff omitted as well, because this is am I where the step parent is always evil. I've seen people in their 50s act like this. You can be surprised at immature other people who aren't you can be. No, probably not. Probably not. They don't like that I moved on. They think I replaced dad. Look, if they do, then that's their problem. I don't know. Would anybody seriously want their mother to live the rest of their life by themselves? Just because, and I want to know how much time has passed, because we don't get an idea of how much time. She sort of mentions spring break and she mentions this, but to a widow. Oh no, this person's friend. Yeah, okay. My friend's husband died, and his whole family tried to talk shit to her when she was remarried, which was his dying wish that she move on and enjoy life. Absolutely, absolutely. If I die, or if I divorce, I want I want Lynn to move on and be happy. Like why would I want her to be miserable? No, this is this other person's friend, Jay. She's talking about somebody else. Sometimes people really do want you to be a widow forever. Yeah, so that's her friend's husband died, and his family tried to like tell her she was bad for remarrying. Come on now. Yeah, and the flip side is that surviving spouses do wish to remain single, and friends and family believe they need on love again. Yeah, I think that you should just let people be and do their own thing, whatever makes them happy. Yeah, that's the big kids. They are brats. Well, I mean, come on now. People are saying not the arsehole. Well, if you take the story at face value, then yeah, it's the kids being the arsehole. But having said that, um, I don't think we've got the whole story here. Adults can be irrational, petty, and stupid. Yeah, pretty much. Actually, what I want to know was are they a religious family? That certainly, like, if they're a fundamentalist religious family and you're not supposed to get divorced, much less clutch pearls remarried, then maybe that has something to do with it. That's something that I have seen people be highly irrational about. If you check 99% of Reddit's answers, the step parents of the devil automatically can be Nobel Prize for Peace. But still the worst asshole that ever walked on the earth. Yeah, I think that you're just adding to the knee-jerk reactions of Reddit, kicking me crazy. Jumping on San Jose, it's very likely. Okay, so very likely. Jumping on the train. Maybe it's because he's shy. Maybe they're sort of, maybe they're sort of, part of the alpha bros or something, and they don't like that he's not an alpha bro for their mother. That is a possibility, right? Because he said he was kind of shy. Maybe he's a nerd. Maybe he's a nerd, and they're alpha bros whose previous dad was an alpha bro. Do you think that could be it? That he's not alpha enough or omega enough or whatever the hell they're talking about now. I think it's like sigma males are the next thing. I don't know. It's so stupid. Like alpha and beta and stuff didn't even apply to wolves. Like the person that made up those terms really was just explaining sort of positions in the and didn't wasn't applying it like we're applying it. It's so stupid. It is the stupidest thing. There is no alpha males and beta males and things like that. That's not how humans work. So freaking dumb. Only one rant can have about train tracks. There aren't enough train tracks. Was that his rant? Okay. He hasn't interacted without me there. He didn't do anything. Worst he did was rant about trains tracks. Yeah. Maybe he's a train spotter. Maybe he's a train spotter. Your camera's acting like mine. Hands up, brother. Hand up, brother. What, does your camera do this? Um, it's out of focus. It's not out of focus. You're out of focus. Hang on a second. It's focusing. It's focusing. Screw it. I don't know what I'm doing with this camera. I don't know. You're out of focus. The world's out of focus. Look, nobody wants to see my face in detail, okay? That nobody wants to see that. Look, he might be a train spotter. So train spotters are people in Britain. Yeah, fuck us. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I don't know if you know, I got some sort of things here, and
Would you please shut his mic off?
I love that. I love that sound clip. I love this one too.
I mean, you're the one who believes in a medium you've never been to, will never travel to, and you say I have fevered dreams. Mark, you have fevered dreams.
Isn't that awesome? I love that. That's awesome. Looks fine when stoned. Great. Yep. Look, if my eyes are out of focus and the no, it's all good, Court. I appreciate it, mate. I really do. All good, buddy. Look, if my eyes are out of focus and the camera's out of focus, that means it'll be in focus. Problem solved. Train tracks, the monster, blink twice. Yeah. So maybe they're alpha bros who go, I can't believe that this guy's a train spotter kind of thing. So train spotters are people in Britain who will go around and try and find certain trains that and take note of what engine they are and things like that. It's actually like there was a guy over there who was absolutely overjoyed at seeing this train there. The thing went viral of him, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. There's nothing, there's not enough train tracks. Yeah, okay, Reddit. You're getting, your sarcasm level is getting Yes, I think I know why too. I think that who was it? John Zerkis? Zarkis? I called him Jerkus, to be honest with you, because that's what he was in that debate. John Jerkus was so vile and insulting kind of thing that I think they sort of reined it in because somebody in their community was making him look really bad. So that's it. Oh, hello, Marinia. How are you doing? Zerka. Yeah, Jerka. John Jerka. Does he really? Are you sure? I don't know about that, mate. I know that he's just been kicked off Twitch, presumably for the same behavior that he did on Modern Day Debate. But yeah, that's what I think. That's my current hypothesis, James. And it's really good to see you, mate. That's my current hypothesis that they're going, oh, let's be nice. We're not with that guy, which is fair. They feel like I replaced their dad. That's the wrong there. All right, 10 points from Hufflepuff. Apparently, when they were first built, the USA used iron and the best type is steel. So now all the tracks have not been replaced and there's a lot of iron tracks instead of steel. That's the wrong spelling of steel. That's the right spelling. Break even on that one. Yeah, no, I can't imagine. Yeah. Kids are being asses. Yeah, I'm kind of coming down and not the asshole. It sounds like he's just a bit of a shy, odd guy who likes trains. That's not a reason to hate the dude. How much did time to spend with him before you got married? Not much. The older ones had jobs and weren't living at home. The youngest was in college, were busy, and he did see them for like Christmas Eve or family events. If I brought him, they met him. No close bonding. I did talk about him often, but that is different than meeting in person. Sure is, and sounds like yeah. Yes, Reddit. Yes. Reddit came through for me. Thank you. You're driving me absolutely insane. Not the arsehole. Yeah. Great father kids then passed away unexpectedly. Oh, he did pass away. She is a widow. Oh no. I feel like I've let her down here. Oh no, she is a widow. Hold a sec. Did she say that? Oh, their father died. Oh yeah, geez. Yeah, okay. So what do you expect to do? Be a widow forever? No. Yeah. You know what? I think that maybe having again, counseling with the entire family. Why not? See if you can get them in it. See if you can get him to open up. Look, they might not understand how much it affects him. And what I've noticed is she doesn't mention how he feels at all during this post. How does he feel about it? Does he feel excluded? Does he feel, her new husband, how does he feel? Right? I mean, if that was me, I'd be like, man, I've done nothing wrong. I'd want to sit down with the kids and say, hey, that actually hurts. I'm sorry. and I respected your father, and he died, and I'm not trying to replace your dad, right? I just love your mother because she's an amazing person, and I want her to be happy. If that's not me, if she'll be happier without me, then I'll I won't be part of it. But she's happier with me. So do you want your mother to be happy or not? So look, I mean, I realize he's a shy guy, he might not be capable of doing that, but that's kind of what mediation and counseling is for. So you can sit down and have someone there to ask the questions of, how does this make you feel? Try to understand one another. Maybe the kids don't care, but isn't it worth try? If it's gonna clear up all this stuff. In the original text, in the overtime, if a woman in the old times, in the olden times, if a widow was widowed, had no children, her dead husband didn't give her children, it was on the dead husband. Yes, that's correct. Yes, Old Testament. Yeah, I know. I'm just trolling you, Jay. I'm 100% trolling you. I know what it is. I'm sorry. Yes, I know. I know. Yes, I'm very aware of that. I'm just making you mad. That's all. Maybe I'm the asshole. Maybe that's the case. I'll put on the next poll. All the humans are bad. Well, humans are bad. Codified cuckery. Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. Well, that's the whole idea of a best man, right? That's what the tradition is for. So if you and your bride showed up, you have your best man. If you didn't marry the bride, the best man did, kind of thing. That was the weird part. I remember reading that somewhere. I'm like, what? That's weird. Like, it was started in Scotland. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Scotland. The best man would also defend the groom. Oh, yeah. So the groom would bring along the best man he knew, the best and most loyal fighter, to help him kidnap a woman, bring her back to his village, and eventually marry her. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you get a woman. The best man would also defend the groom before and during the marriage ceremony against the bride's family, who would come sword swing to try and get her back. During the ceremony, the best man would stand to the right of the groom, hand on his sword, to battle anyone who might charge up the aisle towards the groom. Good on you, Scotland. Good on you, Scotland. I got to kidnap your bride. Take her to the aisle, get your best man to defend you with his sword. Good old Scottish wedding. Yeah, just sword fighting and stuff. Why not? It's not a wedding without taking your claymore. Aye, it's a wedding. Fetch me my sword, woman. Ah, Prima Nocte was an English thing. That was an English thing, actually. Was it Scottish? Yeah. It definitely was in Europe. No, it was in England, but I don't think it was actually in Scotland. It was an English thing. And it was across Europe. So France, Holy Roman Empire, Netherlands. Oh, Scotland. Here we go. No, it wasn't Scotland. The right had existed in Scotland and abolished in 1527. No, you're right. Okay. No, fair call. All right. Yeah. Apparently so. Apparently so, Maya, and it's so good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. I thank you so much for coming. Yeah, no, I think Jay's just clicking buttons, to be honest with you. I kind of blame Jay for the poll coming out weird. It's usually his fault, so it's Jay's fault. Okay, Possibility's got a aimbot for us. Am I the arsehole for telling my in-laws? Is that in-laws? I will not be changing the name of my bakery just because they work there. What? Why? Why does that matter? Yeah, it kind of was. It kind of was. Especially with William Wallace. William Wallace was actually a bit of a dick, to be honest with you. He was a bit of a jerk, so I know. I'm joking. All your fault, Jay. Absolutely. I'm related to the king. Which one? Robert the Bruce, the Scottish king, or the English king, which was Longshanks, Edward Longshanks, Edward the Second, I believe it was. Edward the Second was Edward the Second Longshanks. Edward the First. Sorry, Edward the First. English, yeah, that's Edward the First. So you're related to them, but you don't know their name. That's great, Jay. That's fantastic. That's just what I expect from you. No, it's Edward the First. Edward. I just remember him as Longshanks. I thought that's a great name. Okay, so the bakery was originally my parents' bakery, my mum's more specifically. Dad worked there, but mum ran the whole thing and she was the driving force behind it. Oh, good on you, mum. The bakery was named something with sun in it. Okay, probably don't want to give us the whole name because you'll have Redditors turning up at your business, and nobody wants Redditors turning up at your business. Trust me on that. When my parents had me for 4 years later, they named me Sunny. My mum had a very complicated pregnancy and delivery, and I was going to be their only child. So they named me after the bakery. I always loved the connection, especially meaningful because my mum died when I was 7. Can I just give a big shout out to bakers in general? They get up so early, like early in the morning and stuff. I big shout out to all the bakers out there. I know I used to work night shift with bakers, and they sort of came in at 3 in the morning kind of thing. But big props to the bakers out there. Dad kept it running with help so I could take it over one day if I wanted to, so mum's legacy never died. That's so nice. He got sick when I was 16. It was tough. He fought as long as he could, but he died when I was 18 and I took over the bakery. I baked from a really young age and dreamed of running it one day. So I took over as the head baker and I kept it open myself for a decade now. Oh, well done. All right. That's a wonderful story. Oh, hey, AJ, I love you too, mate. I've really missed you. I haven't seen you around for ages, and I've really missed you. But that's okay. That's all right. In that time, I met and married my wife, Leela. She started working there, and her mum and sister also joined the small team. So she's trying to keep a family bakery going, which is nice. That's really good. Nothing wrong with family businesses. Yeah, you mean platonically. Well, Reed is a very good Scottish name. Reed is definitely a Scottish name. I've got the coat of arms around somewhere. Like I remember going to England and getting the coat of arms for Reed, which means the red in Scottish. And READ is the Irish version of it, and REED is the English version of it. So it just means the red, which is redhead people kind of thing. So big Scottish connection on my side. Yeah, it's a common name because it was just a lot of people were called the Reed when so it would be Mark the Reed. If I had red hair in Scotland ages ago, so it's not necessarily a name that sort of means you're related. So it's a pretty common name. It's all that inbreed. Yeah. Have you seen Amy's Baking Company? I have, yes. Amy's Baking Company. Yes, that is something. It's something. It's actually that's another reality show that I did watch is Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, they were awful, especially the guy. The guy was just, threatening to kill people and stuff. It's just awful. Awful people. It was all going well until a few months ago. We're at Leela's parents' house. Her whole family was there, and they brought up the name for the bakery feels wrong when the family has changed so much. Leela told them the bakery is still mine, and given the history of who named it, they shouldn't think they should get a say in any of it. It was dropped for a while. They brought it up again. Leela again reminded them that it was none of their business. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. If you've been named after the bakery and that's been the name from your parents, yeah, that's yeah, no, Amy Newman is much more lovely than the Amy and Amy's Baking Company. Oh boy, Amy's Baking Company actually became a tourist destination for people because it was that bad. It was probably the worst episode of Gordon Ramsay. I think it was Kitchen Nightmares he did it in. And yeah, she was deluded about her cooking abilities and like so mean to the staff. Her husband was like taking tips away from his staff, which in my mind is just stealing, quite frankly. Like it was just awful. Oh, they do? Okay. Sammy, yeah, that was his name, Sammy. He was just and sort of I felt so sorry for the young girls and the staff there. It was awful. Leela is expecting our first child now, and she hasn't been working as much or at all to these last couple of months. Oh, if you like that and you do like Gordon Ramsay, he did one about this prison that he tried to get this cooking thing set up in. I know Gordon Ramsay can be an absolute, horrible person sometimes, but he's not as bad as people. Like, he came to Australia and people made him out to be the worst person that ever lived. That was absolutely shocking. I think he tries to do good. He can be a bit of a yeah. Gordon behind bars. He tried to get a prison guys to to learn cooking and get them some experience and get them set up for rehabilitation and stuff. And what was really sad was that the prison people running the prison, like the chief head warden and things like that, were kind of why bother? He was trying to sell cookies that these prisoners had made in this prison, and the head warden was like, no one will want to buy those cookies made by prisoners, kind of thing. And everybody on the street he was selling to them said, no, that's a great idea. Of course we want to, give some money to try and help these people. If they want to put in work and make cookies, then absolutely we want to, but the whole thing of it just was really, really disheartening to see the people running the prison not having any confidence in the program, kind of thing. It's just sad. It's just sort of like, wow. Lena is expecting our first child now, and she hasn't been working as much or at all these last couple of months. And I've noticed how some comments are here and there from mother-in-law, especially about darling bakery names or how nice business names are when they tell you it's a family-run thing. I would internally roll my eyes, roll my eyes, but smile and say, those were great names for those people's businesses. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, I did notice there is an error in this video somewhere, and see if you can spot the error. Somewhere throughout here, throughout my wonderful aimbot, there's an error. There's an error, and if you can spot it, I will give you 10 points. Clearly she got annoyed because then her and my sister-in-law called me recently, told me that they felt like they had such a big part in it. which they don't, and the name should reflect the family and not just what my mum had wanted to call it. No, that's not what her mum had just wanted to call it. That was the name they inherited under, and is tied to his name. What? Scottish chef had only 46 died last week. He hosts MasterChef in Australia. Oh, that's sad. What was his name? Did you say his name? Jock von Zonfrillo. I didn't know. Ah, rest in peace. Yeah, it's always sad when a chef dies. So much knowledge and experience goes with them, you know. It's yeah, hopefully he passed along what he knew. Yes, somebody did, but it's not that. It's not that. It's something else that I noticed, and I decided, oh well, I'll let it go through and just mention it in stream, see if anyone can spot it. So yeah, I'll tell you at the end. You'll have to wait till the end, and I'll tell you what the error is. Internally, yes. Rolled Mine says, great names, people, business. Clearly, she got annoyed because then her and my sister-in-law cornered me recently and told me that they had felt like they had such a big partner, which I don't. Oh yeah, I already read that. I told them I will not be changing the name just because they work there, and that's a problem. There is no reason to force themselves to stay if they don't want to. Both told me they do want to work there, and told me I was twisting what they said. They would just feel more included and like this is their family business too. Yeah, no, I get that, but you've inherited, like, it's not your business. It's his business. Mother-in-law told me unless we plan on naming our child some son-related name, it's just going to be a random name in the future. I pointed out many businesses are that, but they told me I was being deliberately obtuse. Am I the asshole? No, and there's more to changing a business name than just changing a business name. So there's this thing, it's called brand recognition. Okay? It's always, you can't just willy-nilly change a name and expect it just to go smoothly and stuff. Like, you have to, if your brand has good recognition, if that bakery has good recognition, then you should probably stick with what it is. So when do you change a name? When you have bad brand recognition. That's when you change the name. Like, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, and I get that your egos would like that there is your name above it, but that's not why you have a name, kind of thing. It's a risk. There is risk in changing your name because people will associate things with a name of a bakery. If they make really good stuff, people will say, hey, there's this bakery this down the road, they make amazing eclairs or whatever, you know, go and check it out sometime. You change the name and they will tell somebody, you know, some tourist, something, hey, there's this bakery down the road, forget the name. You know, you are losing that brand recognition. And even if they do say the wrong name, the previous name, they might not see it. Like, there's a lot of things to consider when changing a name. When I worked at an internet company, we took over one company and kept the name because that was associated with certain things. That were associated with good customer service and following through on things and being really good to their customers and things like that, being an awesome company. And there was another company that was taken over. When I say we, I mean the company. The CEO just folded them in and dumped the name. Right, he just took over everything, got rid of their branding because they were a terrible company that were absolutely horrible. You know, so this is the thing. Like, what do you want to take away? If you have, like, don't forget, companies spend thousands getting brand recognition for their company, right? This is the thing. Like, if you have brand recognition already, don't drop it. Don't drop it. If it's good brand recognition, hold on to it. That's why McDonald's will sue anybody with golden arches. They will just sue because that brand recognition is recognized to be theirs and it's associated with them. What is Risk as your middle name? Well, I mean, risk is something you've got to be able to it, sort of risk is fine in business, but you got to mitigate it, and you have to, I don't think people are like, oh yeah, I don't mind taking risks. Yeah, I do. I will take risks, sure, but you've got to manage the odds. You've got to take risks where it's appropriate, where the payoff is more than what you're set to lose. And if you can't afford to lose it, like if you can't afford to lose your brand recognition, why take that risk? For the bakery. I think, to be honest with you, I think this is about ego. I think it's about their name's not on it. They work there. They consider themselves equal to their in-laws. They consider themselves, oh, we're his in-laws. We're equal to him. It's in the family, which isn't quite true. It's his and his wife's, not the entire family. Like, you've got to stop thinking that you get to, just because you work there. And I mean, he said you don't have to work there. That's fine. And they've said, no, we like working there. Yeah, because he sounds like a good guy. Redundant computer company. Nice. Okay, so I don't know what Wendy's do. I thought they did burgers. I don't know what they do now. I thought they did burgers and milkshakes and things. I I didn't know they did taco salad. No, 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 because there is the possibility that the poster's being the one who's being a complete morally bankrupt monster. The other person's being morally bankrupt, like, so in this case, the family, or they both are. There's a chance that both of them are, or none of them. I don't think a binary thing is sort of gets it gets to the crux of the matter. I think that, if Jay had his way, he'd vote everybody's an asshole every second of any day. Yeah, not the asshole. You have bigger problems than name your bakery. It is yours and only yours. Well, I think that if you kind of share it with your wife, kind of thing. This is why we've never seen the name of a company, mediocre parachute company. Yeah, yeah. Its brand recognition is not serviceable. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea. I've never been to a Wendy's, of course. We don't have Wendy's over here. Oh, look, Jay, I can't stay away from you, mate. It's terrible. I know. It's terrible. I've been meaning to drop in when you next have a stream and carve things up, but um, I have been busy. So yeah, busy week, busy week. Please consult an attorney with regards to any question around ownership of the bakery and whether it be considered a marital asset subject to decision in case of divorce. I'm sure no harm is meant, but pre-owned business can become marital asset. Well, yeah, but she's on his side. Like, she's like, come on now. I don't think you need to see a lawyer for the problem you're not having with your wife. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, so there's no Burger King over here as well. Yeah, apparently there is one. Okay. Yeah, there's an ice cream store, Wendy's. Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing? No Burger. No, we have it, but it's called Hungry Jack's. So here's the story. It's called Hungry Jack's. So it is Burger King, but it's called Hungry Jack's. And the reason why is because somebody trademarked in Australia the name Burger King ages ago. And Burger King tried to get the patent for the name, the copyright for Burger King, and he just would not sell it. Like, they just offered him all kinds of things. So they just went, all right, we'll call it Hungry Jack's, I guess. And not the same thing. No, I didn't think it was. Yeah. There was a rumor. Okay, that's weird. A post-nuptial to sort this out. Like, he's not having a problem with it's his wife. It's the family. Like, just chill, Reddit. Don't assume everything will end in divorce. In many cases, faith of business, new owners would go as well. Yes, exactly. It's weird, especially since business built up their brand. Yeah. Changing the name would be stupid. Stupid for business. Yes, you're correct. Yeah. You know, if you buy a business, it's named after the family that owned it the whole time. It'd be a total dummy to rename it just because it's mine. Yeah, you wouldn't rename a business that you buy. That's the thing. Like, you would just keep it exactly the same. Step one, be changing the name of their family name. Step two, would be asked for a percentage of profits because it's family business with their name on it too. Yeah, well, I mean, I think you're stretching a bit, but we got the not the arsehole. Yeah, I'm kind of coming down on that. Thin-ended wedge. Don't let them quit. Fire them. Oh, just settle down, Reddit. Like, if you fire them, it's going to cause problems between you and your wife. Come on. Yes, Adelaide is a strange place with strange people, but I love them anyway. They're strange in the best possible way. And I like Melbourneites as well. Melbourneites are awesome. 15. Next thing you know, they're going to open a competing bakery. Oh, come on. How Redditors get to these points. Like, they're slippery slopes that just go for miles on end, you know? Like, they just jump to the largest conclusions I've ever seen. Get a post-nuptial because she's gonna divorce you and take the back. No, she's standing up. Like, just come on now. A trust with the bakery going to the child. Is she pregnant? Is that what's going on? Yeah, she was pregnant, expecting our first child. Yeah. Off topic, we need a way to separate sister-in-law from sister-in-law. I'm not sure I understand that one. But I'm from Canberra. No, Canberra's fine. No, Canberra's fine. I don't mind Canberra. Although you know, the Canberra people are fine. I have an issue with Canberra in general. Like, just that, you know, there's certain things that are illegal throughout Australia. Like weed is illegal, but it's decriminalized in Canberra, where all the politicians are, which is just like the height of hypocrisy. Bad business changed the name of established small business spending around for decades. Name recognition is huge. Yes, you are correct. No, I'm not changing. End of story is adequate. You need a way to fire them before this gets any worse. Well, you know, I think just putting your foot down and making boundaries. What? That's not true. Well, yeah, okay. Well, if you're talking about what happened in the you know, yeah, it's we actually used bun in the oven for an announcement. Thank you. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, bun in the oven. You'd have to, right? You'd have to use bun in the oven for a bakery reference. Yeah, well, I think it's only for politicians and their aides, to be honest with you, abracadabras. They would not be able to take over, yeah. The electrical company was still named the original owner. Yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. Yeah, a lot of companies are. JP Morgan, the name of the guy was born in the 1800s. Cadbury is named for its founder. Yeah, they had no idea. Yeah. There's no reason to change the name. No reason at all. You're just throwing brand recognition down the toilet. It's just poor business acumen. For your ego. And a lot of people do this. They go, oh, well, my ego, I got to have this happen, even if it's a bad business decision. Because I've got to be the one to do this. It's like, don't put your ego ahead of good business decisions. It's a poor thing to do. OP is named after the bakery. What a guy, running a family-owned bakery that he was named after. Karen, this is the kind of place that I really love to see. When you go on holiday and you see like some little store or bakery that's been run for multiple generations and stuff, and they just do the best stuff, and they're just fantastic. I don't, let's just not try to put them out of business. We already have non-family employees. One has worked with for a long time, is very reliable. Two have worked with for a short time, but are very reliable. Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like he does want it to be a family business. Like, he may like his family being involved, and that's good. It's just, yeah, you have this name that has brand recognition. You don't have to change it. In fact, don't change it. Keep it exactly as it is. Run it as that name and pass it down so it can be a landmark. You always have those little bakeries and those little stores, ice cream stores and pizza places that are named after some random person that have been in a town forever. They've been there forever, kind of thing. And they're landmarks, right? They're actually landmarks. You get, how do I get to this place? Oh, you go past the, Sunny Bakery and a couple of kilometers. They are literally landmarks. So I don't know why you would be doing this. No, he's paying them. Stop. The dough you need. Everyone needs dough. Everyone needs dough. I'm saying not the arsehole in this one. I'm saying perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. What did you vote? Poster is good human. Yes, I agree. Good human. Good human, good baker. I agree. Totally agree. Absolutely. What's my favorite bakery good? I kind of cut out a lot of carbohydrates, so I don't have a lot of baking stuff. I must admit, when it's Easter, I do like a hot cross bun, like the cinnamon hot cross bun. I don't know, something about it. I really like it, especially if it's got like chocolate stuff in it. Bakery, what do I usually get? I don't mind croissants. Croissants are really good. Croissants. Yeah. Starting to make me hungry, actually. Starting to get hungry now. Damn you, bakery post. Damn you. I don't mind profiteroles and stuff, but they're a bit rich for my blood. As I said, I used to work in a bakery, and they used to have they would have slices of cake basically, and they'd bring the cake out in a big tray kind of thing, and then they'd cut it into sections, and there was always just a tiny bit, a sliver on the end, that just wouldn't fit to what the hell they were cutting it. And that bit was, so if there was a bit like that wasn't quite right, they could basically work around it. But they used to just throw them out, and yeah, like you could just eat them if you were working in the bakery. And Black Forest cake was my favorite. And by the end of that, like by the time I stopped working there, I couldn't stand Black Forest cake. I had enough of it. It was horrible. They used to make these real mini croissants and like pasties and stuff, and things like that. And it was absolutely divine. I don't know what they did to them. They were just awesome. They were like for parties and things. They made them. What else? Just a meat pie as well, like a really good meat pie. Yeah, I did put on weight working there, I got to admit. About 15 pounds just listening to this combo. Yeah. I definitely put on weight. No, that's definitely true. Absolutely. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I when you were going, oh, what am I gonna have for lunch? And you can just go, oops, and put a thumb in a pie and break it and just go, whoops, I accidentally ruined this pie. I'll put that to one side. No one needs to know. Like, seriously, it's too dangerous. Too dangerous. Yeah, no, I totally understand, Aussie Girl. Totally understand. Yeah. No, it's always working in any kind of food place is always dangerous. I gotta say. I gotta say. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my boyfriend's family? What did they do? I mean, if they committed a crime, you know what? If they committed a crime, didn't really hurt anybody, then yeah, you're a bit of an asshole. But if they actually were causing harm, then no. What the? Last year, I moved in with my boyfriend and his dad. My boyfriend and I were in a long distance relationship for a few years, and I moved across the country to be with him after I finished graduate school. Long distance relationships, I don't know how they work. I cannot see myself doing a long distance relationship. I just can't. I like being with somebody too much. I can imagine how hard they could be. Due to a large distance, I opted to sell my car and buy a new one after moving. When I did this, my boyfriend helped me out by loaning me some money to help pay the down payment, but I have since paid him back. Okay. I opted to sell my car. Oh, that was for the new one. Okay, cool. Last week, my boyfriend's older sister, who lives in another state, came to visit and stayed in the house with us, and that's with the boyfriend and his dad. This was my first time meeting her, and I thought she was very nice, but I didn't get to know her well. 2 days ago, my boyfriend and I were running errands together, and his sister called him to ask when he would be back so she could borrow his car to go hang out with her friends in a town about an hour away. Put a comma in there somewhere. 2 days ago, my boyfriend and I were running errands together, and his sister called him to ask when he would be back so she could borrow his car to go hang out with her friends in town about an hour away. Okay. He told her it would be a while, and she asked if it was okay to borrow my car. Sure. Yep. My boyfriend asked me, and I told him I was not comfortable with that and tell her no. My boyfriend did tell her no. I heard the entire conversation. Okay, well, that's fine. That's your prerogative, I guess. Well, a few hours later, my boyfriend and I got home, and my car was gone. What? I was shocked, and my boyfriend was confused. When he went to the house, his dad has informed us that he gave my boyfriend's sister the spare key to my car that was in the lockbox because she said she needed to go somewhere. My boyfriend told him that she asked to drive my car, and we had told her no, so he didn't understand why she was allowed to take it. And his dad said that since my boyfriend helped pay for the car, then therefore it was partly his, which meant his sister had the right to drive. No. No. That's not true. Just because you loan somebody money in order to buy a car. Yeah, no worries, Skywatcher. Enjoy, mate. Enjoy that chick. Just because you help loan somebody money to help them buy a car doesn't mean the car's partially yours. Like if you have a loan from a bank and you buy a car and then you pay off the loan, it doesn't mean the bank's got some rights to send some dude around to drive your car. No, that's not how that works. That is not how that works. I was absolutely livid. I couldn't believe that anyone would do something like this. My name is the only one on the title, insurance, etc., as I am the sole owner. My boyfriend told his dad to call her and tell her to bring my car back immediately, and she said she would be home soon. Well, after 2 hours, I called the police and reported my car stolen because I was worried that if it got damaged or something, then I'd be forced to pay the repairs even though it wasn't my fault. My boyfriend's dad and sister were pissed about this and they accused me of trying to get them arrested. They're demanding that I apologize to them and tell the police it was all a misunderstanding, but I really don't want to because I feel like they tried to take advantage of me. My boyfriend agrees with me, but even said he thinks calling the police to report the car stolen may have been too far. Am I the arsehole? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. I think that's a little bit too far. That can really seriously mess up somebody's life. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that she's definitely worse and a complete arsehole, but I think that's a little bit too far. I think that's a little bit too far. If she refused to return the car, then yeah. But you could have called her and said, "Hey, we're about to call the police. If you don't return this right now, like right now, we will call the police and you will be arrested." Like, you could have warned them that was what you were going to do. I don't think that you needed to jump to that step, but I can understand why she's upset. I don't think she's an asshole, really. I mean, that's really upsetting. That's really upsetting. I mean, I would be really angry if I said to my sister-in-law, "No, you can't borrow my car," and they just borrowed it anyway. But my sister-in-law would never do that. That's the thing. Like, they're a reasonable human being, so they would never ever do that. But that is not something that any of my family would do. That's not something that anybody I know would do. And at the end of the day, if somebody's taken your property without your permission, you do have a right to call the police. Regardless of who it is, they've taken something without your permission. Technically, the car was stolen. Yeah, calling the cops is a bit of a yeah. I understand that. Yeah, I get that. I get that. So I think calling the cops without warning them that that's what you're doing is a bit too far. I think that's a bit too far. Yeah, we are convicts, I must admit. All Australians are convicts, even the ones that, were born here or came over here after, the convict era. We're still all convicts, every single one of us. So, yeah. So it's just, that will really mess up somebody's life. Like, seriously, if they follow through with pressing charges, I suppose it's fine. I mean, you could just not press charges, right? Like, if you're pressing charges, then yeah, that is a big move. I don't think you owe them an apology, though. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Maybe you should have called them and said, "Hey, I'm going to call the police." Who the hell isn't descended from a convict somewhere down the line? Yeah, most English people, actually. Most English people. Wasting the police the main issue. But is it a waste? I mean, her car was genuinely stolen. Genuinely stolen. It was stolen. A crime had been committed. It's what the police is for. yeah, she called 911 and said in an emergency I'd have an issue. But, you know, if she just filed a police report to cover her ass in case of insurance, then yeah. Of course there are. I'm just saying that, you know, Lord Montebank from, you know, Eton and educated in Yale probably wasn't hailing from convict stock. I'm just saying. It wasn't a misunderstanding. She stayed up, stole your car. Yeah, no, Reddit's going to come down like a ton of bricks on someone take cars and Reddit for some reason. If somebody's like, it's like cats elsewhere on the internet. If someone stuffs with your car on Reddit, oh boy, do you hear about it. Wouldn't be surprised if OP is asked to leave soon anyways, or the only reason she hasn't asked her is he can less like drop the matter at the police. Even if she does, they might ask her to leave. Be aware that in the area I'm in, you could be evicted with police enforcement immediately because tenancy counts as boarding, assuming you share a kitchen with the owner. Okay, well, I mean, I'd probably drop the current issue and add it. Now you know how I react to someone taking my car without permission. They don't think that means they can start doing it. Yeah, I would be same. I would drop it and say, don't ever touch my car ever again without my permission. It's sarcasm. Your sarcasm. Gotta. It's a legitimate turn on questions. Yeah, I don't know. Justify someone else's car. Yeah, I must just giving away the keys. Well, I mean, you don't know what the dad was told. Like, you don't know whether he was told, oh, she said it was fine, just get the spare key kind of thing. I don't know. He said, no, you don't just take someone's car. But I would probably drop it for the, yeah, you know, probably just drop it, but say, hey, don't ever take it again or else I'll press charges. Well, take the spare key out of that lockbox or lock the lockbox and just make sure that your other family members don't have access to it. Just make sure your boyfriend is the only one with access to it. I generally prefer not to take someone else's vehicle even with their permission. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's true. It's all true. You are living embodiment of sarcasm. It is all true. All true. Calling police on someone has a lot of consequences. Yeah. Yeah. You may not be able to drop the charges. Yes, maybe. I mean, if you basically, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on there, and I agree. It probably would have been better to call up and say, hey, I'm calling the police if it's not back here within, you know, half an hour or something. I was taught you never call the cops on your family. Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you got to. If you're in a domestic situation and your father's, you know, beating up your mother, call the cops. Like this whole thing of your family, you should never snitch on your family kind of thing. It's there are instances when it is completely appropriate. You know, this whole thing is it enables stuff like children being abused and things like that. Yeah, abuse, violence, something like get me in trouble. I will drop a dime. I'll secure evidence, like I'm on set. Yeah, good one. I agree. I'm upvote you. Biscuit boy, absolutely. But petty crimes, yeah. Is Grand Theft Auto a petty crime? Does that fit petty crime? Yeah, I think they'd come out and not be arsehole. I'm kind of inclined to say the same, even though her reaction maybe have skipped a step. This is definitely something my boyfriend discussed already, so don't worry. My boyfriend is definitely on my side and assured him made it clear to his dad that kicking me out also means kicking out his son. My boyfriend and I are financially stable enough to survive. Oh, that's good. That's good. to save a significant. Yeah, absolutely. Like it, who just takes somebody's car? Like, yeah, that's such weird behavior. OP here. There have been so many comments. I've read them all with an open mind. And I really appreciate every single response. However, with Reddit, I've seen lots of comments that I want to reply to. Incorrect spelling, 10 points from Hufflepuff. So I am just going to post one here addressing a few different things. I did not call 911 or emergency services. Thank you. I called police department directly through the non-emergency line to ask to file a police report. They said they would send somebody by, and by the time the police officer arrived to our home, assisted me back for about 30 or so minutes. My car was not damaged. Everything on it was fine. So I just explained to the officer the situation, and he asked if I wanted to press charges, and I said no. Well, that's it then. The sole reason I'd want to file a police report was in case something on my car was damaged, and since it wasn't, I believed it wasn't necessary to take it any further. The police officer talked to his sister. Police officer talked to his sister and left. Well, presumably it means my boyfriend's sister, not the police officer's sister, which is what it's suggesting. Which, unless the hiring practices of police have changed radically, you wouldn't have the police officer bring his sister to a call out. Okay. She won't be getting arrested, charged, etc. That's good. However, dad and sister are still insisting I tried to have them arrested. No, oh, fuck off. All right, yeah, no, she's fine. You're fine, OP. You're fine. Like, police came, you said, no, I won't press charges. No, they don't deserve an apology. Screw these people. No, you could have pressed charges and you didn't. Come on. I've also seen a lot of comments asking me why I didn't want her to use the car, and the simple answer is because I don't know her. We've only just met. Tiffany didn't feel comfortable giving my car to someone I don't know very well. People are calling me selfish for that, and everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I honestly disagree. And you have a right to. It's your car. I don't see the problem there. Further, I have both my keys now. I'll make sure no one besides either my boyfriend or I ever able to get them again. Yes, consider that lesson learned. Yes. Also, for everyone advising me to move out, my boyfriend and I discussed it. We're currently searching for an apartment we can move into. My boyfriend asked his dad, would he be kicking us out? And his dad told him he wouldn't, but we both aren't really willing to take his word on this. I really appreciate everyone who offered kind words and advice. Some of you have left some comments that were able to make me laugh about the situation, which I really appreciate as well. Yeah, that's good. Another happy Reddit customer. If you had reported stolen, the worst happened, it would be your word against hers. Hard to prove given that she had the keys. For more information, liability for owner liability for stolen vehicles in all 50 states. Yeah, okay. So if she went and did something and committed a crime with it, you possibly could have been charged for being complicit because, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Emotional sport, it's a pig. Well, it's not the okay, bacon. Yeah, all right. Geez, proper FTV. That's awesome. Yes. I want you to go on a plane or go into the DMV and say that this bacon is your emotional support animal. I really want to see that video, mate, of you going in there and trying to convince them that your plate of bacon is an emotional support animal. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Everyone sucks here. You did go so far. Yeah, I get the feeling there's people that, like, no matter what happens to them, they wouldn't call the police. He paid a quarter of the $4,000 down payment, so $1,000. He's paying back in full throughout 5 months. But he doesn't own any part of it. Has never claimed any ownership of my car. Yeah, I don't. What the hell is that all about? Like, just because the son loaned his girlfriend money, you think part of her car is your son's? No. No. Yeah, I'm going to come down on not the arsehole for this one, definitely. Oh, hello, Tapioca Weasel. My favorite weasel. How are you? How are you? What did you guys say? What did you guys say? All humans are bad. Okay. What's wrong with you, chat? Who hurt you? Who hurt you? He didn't call the loan in. It had already been repaid. You can't call a repaid loan in. Tim, stop it. You don't get paid twice for a loan. Unless you're doing interest, you know. But as we all know, the Bible says you shouldn't charge interest. As we all know. Okay, wow, okay, 2 hours already. I'll just do one more and wrap it up, but thanks for joining me. But for the last one, it's no repeat 2176. No repeat. I'm going to give you an update. Am I the arsehole for using the things my ex left at my house? What the hell no? What are you talking about? Who? What are we talking about here? Toothbrush? Maybe toothbrush. If it's toothbrush, then maybe, yes. I don't know. I don't think it's right to use somebody else's toothbrush. That's just gross, yo. But if it's a waffle maker, then that's fine. That's fine. Look, okay, so I know that you're covering for Jay, but it's still Jay ruining my polls. I know it is. Okay, so don't try and convince me otherwise. I know it's Jay Pasick ruining my polls. You can't convince me otherwise. Okay, you just can't. About a year ago, I, a 29 male, left my ex when I found out she, 31 female, was cheating on me. Oh, that's sad. I'm so sorry. She begged for us to work. She wanted us to work out, offered marriage. Why would you offer marriage when having problems with your relationship? Look, okay, chat here. Marriage does not fix your relationship problems. It just doesn't. Okay, you're going to have the same problems after you get married as you had before them. It's not a magic wand. Marriage never fixes relationships. You should have a strong relationship, then get married. Work out that stuff before you get married is the best way to do it. I don't understand why people think, oh, we're having problems, we'll get married and that will strengthen our bond. Marriage isn't really a thing. It's purely symbolic. It's not going to fix your problems. But later I found out she was pregnant and was ultimately glad I decided against working on it. Okay. Are you the father, or is the other person the father, or somebody altogether different father? Who's the father? To add salt to the wound, I was in the middle of building and buying things for a nursery of our own. And it turns out I wasn't the father. Whoops. Okay. You're not wrong. You're 100% correct, Ember. Marriage is the number one cause of, cause there is kind of, I think there is a correlation between getting married and divorce, a 1-to-1 correlation, essentially, but correlation is not causation. We lived together in the house I owned. She wasn't on the mortgage, and she didn't pay for it. Okay. Sounds like you're taking advantage of, mate. I gave her a few months to get out of the house, buy her own with the BD. Bondage dildo. Back debt. Anyone know what BD is? Basic dog. Buy her own with the BD. Nope, don't know what that is. And get her stuff. Bond deposit? Is that bond deposit? Bond deposit? Baby daddy? Okay, baby daddy, yeah. No, I think it's bond deposit, I would imagine. Basic disability. Yeah, well, she does sound a bit basic, I'll tell you that right now. That's this girl is basic. And get her stuff. She even hired movers. She comes from more money than me and had more money, so she bought a lot of stuff for the house and left it. Fire pit outside, left it. Can you move a fire pit? I suppose if it's one of those ones, yeah, okay. Dryer, left it. Then never spoke to me again. Over time, I slowly started using the stuff, since she has been long gone. I will use the fire pit with friends or new dates. Oh, that's a kick in the teeth for her. Yeah. Yeah, I've moved on and I'm using your fire pit with other women. Take that. Take that, 31 female. Take that. And now that I'm dating my new partner, what? I'll use that. And now that I'm dating my new partner, sure. This got back to her with mutuals, and she is going around saying, I'm a fuckboy who reuses one woman's stuff on another for another. Yeah, I'm using your fire pit with my new babe. What are you going to do about it? The fuckboy reuses one woman's stuff for another. Look, I don't know how that's supposed to be an insult kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's not like he's using a wedding dress or something, like or am I maybe too pragmatic? If a woman left like a waffle maker and I made waffles, she'd go, "Oh, you're using another woman's waffle maker." Yeah, and I'm making my current one a waffle. I don't like. Is that supposed to hurt or something? I don't understand. I don't understand. It's upsetting, but I'm starting to think they are right. What do you mean? No. Am I the arsehole for not posting out all of this stuff and buying new things? Ooh, what are you talking about? I grew up poor and was raised not to be wasteful. Yeah, same. Don't waste stuff. If the dryers still work, and use it. If the fire pits work, and use it. I'm not sure how you use a fire pit except to light a fire, but use it. Tell your current missus every time you light a fire, we are spitting in the face of your ex, and you love it. You love it. Oh, and a super chat. Thank you so much, Caught in the Middle. I really appreciate it. Caught in the Middle for $10 says, Mark, not sure what your time looks like, but we could open a chat between the two of us and or others to speak on subjects. I'm open to the big world religion one. Ozian seems to be roaring. Yeah, Ozian's doing really well. I'm all for Ozian. Absolutely roaring forth. Absolutely. And yeah, no, you've got my Discord. Do shoot me something. I'm more than happy for you to. I thought we'd sorted out a time. I had something scheduled in. For your Friday night, I believe, was scheduled in. I believe. Is that right? Have I got that wrong? Hopefully, I've got that right. Hang on a sec. I'll just look at my emails. I do apologize, mate. I thought we'd gotten something sorted out, and if you want other people to come in, I'm more than happy to. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. Uh, maybe it's in my Discord chats. Yeah, Friday night. Friday night, 9 p.m. So if you want to look, it's your show. It's your thing, Court. Like if you want to bring something in. Oh, and another $2 super chat caught in the middle. For $2, yeah, we do. We all seem up tonight as well. Haha. Well, it's not tonight for me, so there you go. Polydiscourse. Well, I found out a new term called polycule today, which was a polyamorous relationship that's like a molecule, so it's made up of lots of different connections. So a polycule is the word for the day. Yeah, polycule. Yeah, no problems, Court. No problems at all. Yeah, I just like to make sure I've got everything sort of put away. Polydent. I'm not a whore. I'm a polycule. Yeah, absolutely, Tim. That's perfect use of it, mate. That's perfect use of it. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Court. Thank you so much for your donations. I really appreciate it. Where was I? No, they're not right. They're absolutely not right. Property law says where I live says it's been abandoned on my property more than 60 days. It's mine, so legally I'm clear, but ethically I'm not so sure. No, ethically you're fine as well. Look, if she comes around and says, hey, I want my fire pit back, you can say, hey, bring a trailer, get your fire pit, don't care. If you want your dryer, take your dryer. It's not really worth the fight over because, you know, they were hers, but it doesn't sound like she's doing that. She's just talking smack behind your back. Love you, mate. Even I know what a polycule is. Look, Titan, don't shame me. All right, I didn't know. I know now. You know, thanks to Reddit. I'm just saying that Reddit is sometimes good for working out what a polycule is, or you know, something like that. All right. Yeah, no. If she comes around saying, "Hey, I want my dryer," sure, give it back to her. But apart from that, fuck her. Like seriously, she doesn't deserve anything back. Like, you know, she left. If she wanted it, she could have taken it. And why would you be worried about you know, I'm using my ex-girlfriend's stuff? Yeah, it's stuff. It doesn't mean you're sleeping with her again or anything. It's just stuff. Like what are you talking about? No. Get rid of her stuff. I don't think so. I think he's fine. I think he's perfectly fine. And quite frankly, considering everything that she did, you know, he sort of just moved on. Like, good on him. You know, he could have been one of those people that like burn all of her stuff. You know, wouldn't that be ironic? She cheats on you, so you burn her fire pit. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. She cheated on me. I set fire to her fire pit. Just for those extra irony points. I used to play chess a while ago, Tapioca Weasel. I mean, I kind of I can play chess. I'm not very good, I don't think, or at least I was okay back in the day, but you know, I don't know how I'd go these days. So yeah, I can play chess though. You know, I know what an en passant is. Does that count? I know how to en passant. Does everyone else know how to en passant? He was using her old butt plugs. Well, her old butt plugs apparently. Yeah. Well, I mean, if she leaves them there, they're fair game. I mean, I'd probably wash them first, but you know, considering where she's been. Not the asshole. It's abandoned property that makes it your property. Also, screw ethics. Yeah, no ethics. Who cares? Like Japtimus Prime. Seriously, she cheated on you and had another man's baby. Ethics went out the window a long time ago. Well, that is true. You know, if she wants you to be ethical at this point, she really should be ethical herself. Tell her to go eat a bag of frog dicks. Okay, I laughed at the frog dicks. Yeah, okay. En passant is always forced. What are you talking about? No, it isn't. You don't have to en passant. You don't have to. You can just not take the pawn. Like, yeah, it moves past that pawn moves past yours, but you don't have to en passant. You can just not take it. I'm beginning to think you don't know what en passant is, Tapioca Weasel. You got to do it for the meme, though. Yeah, well, okay. I don't bring it up. Reach point hard tellers don't want her to hear about what. It's been over a year since she cheated on me. Would just make him sound bitter. Yeah, but I mean, I think they know that already. You know what? It sounds like she's probably madder at him because she's not with him anymore, right? Like, she screwed up, she moved out, she has to go on, she's got a baby with probably some guy that, she's not with or doesn't really care as much as this guy. And she's just saying things to hurt him. She's saying this to hurt him, to just say, well, you're a fuckboy that uses my old stuff with your new girls. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm a fuckboy. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Like, the whole thing of this is entangling someone back in your drama. It's this whole thing of, I want to provoke them to get attention. I don't want things to be over. The best thing you can do is ignore her and get on with your life and enjoy your new relationships, people that won't cheat on you, people that won't treat you badly. That's no, Tim, the ex hasn't even asked for it back. That's the thing. They're just saying it to be hurtful, and that's sort of, you can just go, yep, that's another reason why I left them. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a legal move. Absolutely. Absolutely legal. That is a legal move. Yeah, absolutely. En passant is very, very well known and a legal move. There's a few other things in chess that people generally don't know. You can't castle through check. So if you're doing a castle and any of the squares are in check, you can't actually move through them. That's another thing that people don't know. It's usually a Greek. No, it isn't. Oh, Titan. No, it isn't. Get out of here. Chess has standard rules. Like, don't tell me we have to go over the rules of no. Come on now. This isn't Monopoly, it's chess. Come on. There's so much I could say. I think the thing I wondered most was if it was just sex or if she really loved him. I think why also came up a lot. Well, yeah, you felt used. Yeah. We were seemingly happy. People usually see me as very emotionally present partner, so I recognized oddities early on. But she made me feel crazy or paranoid or jealous for that. She kept saying it was me just being jealous of cis men. And since I do take responsibility, I regret how much time I wasted looking within on how I could make myself feel better. I felt foolish. Yeah, that sucks. We put our stories as becoming parents on SM. What's SM? Single male? Super message. Sound medium. As a trans person at mental... Oh, it's a trans person. Oh, that sucks, man. That really sucks. I'm sorry, mate. As a trans person, it meant a lot to me that someone finally saw I could be a good dad. Community victim blamed a lot and just saw pregnant women, so assumed she was the true victim. I felt used that I was going to be used. I felt used that I was going to be used for the financial and emotional access of parenthood, and this guy would not be seen as responsible for something he was clearly old enough to make. I don't know how easy I am to get over, but I do know that made me feel dumb. I do know that made me feel dumb, cheap, and like a pawn in ways I hope I don't experience ever again. I hope no one does. Yeah, I hope nobody ever feels that way, but life, mate, it happens. And my close friends were all devastated because they saw how happy I was working in the nursery. I think ultimately I'll just have to hold my head high and understand that my time for kids will come, and it's best this way because it would have been hell co-parenting with someone who doesn't share the same values as me. Absolutely. If they don't share your values, if they don't share your ethics, then you're best not being with them. That sucks. Mystery Pig. I'm a fuckboy. And your response to people telling you she's saying that could be reminding them she probably just sold it because she was dumped after being caught cheating, and then followed up with, and by her fuckboy logic, what did it say about her? She tried to reuse one man's baby for another man. Well, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Look, the best thing that they can do is just get on with their life. Like, just get on and have a happy life. And find somebody who does share your values. Absolutely. think it's all in my question. There should be differentiate between items from X's. For me, there is. Sentimental items, sure, but a dryer? Yeah. It's not like it's a dildo. Well, it's kind of a dildo. It's a dryer. It's God's sake, it's not like a super personal item. Yeah. First of all, many queer people keep their own sex toys that can be an extension of their own body identity. Many trans guys use prosthetics, which can range something like 1K to 3K. Designed to be very much like a cisgenital, so that's personal. Yeah, that's fair enough. Some don't change that out between partners because other guys don't change their dick. Okay, some just getting partner comes into life. That's the advantage of being a trans guy. Okay, so you definitely wouldn't, yeah. It also just reads as a grudge. Yeah. Wow. So she cheated, got pregnant, hid the pregnancy, then tried to get back together with you and convince you to marry her so you would have to raise a child that wasn't yours, and she's the one questioning your ethics. Lol. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll see what you guys say. All the humans are bad. Well, I don't know why, but you guys, I don't know why. Everybody's always bad. I think it's Titan and Jay Pasick stuffing up my quizzes. They them is plural. No, actually, no, it's not. It's been used as singular for multiple centuries. Actually, that's actually a misunderstanding of the they them. It can be plural. Don't get me wrong. It's basically an unspecified number. So if you say I go down the shop and there was this girl behind the bar and they gave me a drink, it's you know that's perfect English. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, if you say that and usually it's used when the gender of the person is indeterminate. You can't tell the gender. So if you say um, somebody did my taxes from this accountant firm and they did a really good job, right? It's only singular when you say they because only one person did your forms and stuff. But because you don't know the gender, it used as a genderless them kind of thing. Because you wouldn't say, oh, I gave my tax form in, whoever did it, them did a really good job. But you can't say she or he because you don't know the gender. So it's used as singular for when you don't know the gender of the person. That's historically how it's been used. Yeah, it can be singular or plural, but the main reason why it's used is um, because you don't know the gender of the person. That's the main reason it's used. As my example was, like, they gave my test to somebody and they marked it, and they did a really bad job or something. It's basically saying I don't know the gender of this person. That's how historically it's been used. It has been used as singular. It has been used as plural. So it's kind of a filler word when you don't really know much about the object, or the object is a really bad word, the person you're describing, kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Essentially, you know. So that's the aim. But oh yeah, did anybody spot the mistake? Did anybody spot the mistake? Anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody? Anybody? No? Yes? Did anybody spot my mistake? Yes? No? On the thumbnail? Yeah, be more specific. Oh, you did? I didn't hear you, Ember. I didn't hear you. What was the mistake? Yeah, that's always a mistake. I mean, one that's unusual for me, not one that I do every single aimbot and regret it every time. Like, seriously, come on, Maya, focus. Yes, we have a winner. Congratulations, Ember. You win 10 points for house of your choice. I'm guessing Ravenclaw. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, 10 points for Ravenclaw. Yes. I only noticed last night, like last minute, and I was like, that's a mistake. I'm gonna just let that slide. Let it in. Let it in. Well done, Ember. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Bible sort of outright says be slave to, God as, I mean, it's really weird when you hear religious people bragging about being slaves. I'm a slave to my Lord, kind of, and it's like, wow, that's something you're proud of. Like, why would you think that's a good thing? I don't understand. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Coming up, I do have a couple of interviews coming up. I think I've got Captive Desk on Thursday night, and I have Caught in the Middle on Friday night. But of course, I'll post the links for that when they come up. I'm really looking forward to talking with each of them. Captive Desk I've known a while, and I love Captive Desk. And Caught in the Middle I've only just recently met, and seems like a really great guy, so I'll enjoy talking to him as well. And I think Caught in the Middle focuses on how we can bridge divides between us and religious people, and us and flat earthers, and things like that. So it should be a really interesting conversation there. But of course, I will be putting those in my community tab, so keep posted if you do want to see those interviews. If you could leave a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed, that would help me immensely. Don't feel forced to. Entirely up to you. But if you did enjoy, please do leave it for me, as it does help me incredibly so. And thank you for your super chats, Caught in the Middle. I appreciate it. And a big shout out to my my members of my channel, the people who make this thing go, including Ember, who's in the chat, Sinedra, Caterpillar, and as a whole. They're awesome, and they are still available if you do want to. Yeah, so if you want to join, fantastic. And I will be doing a stream for the higher level members, probably in about a week's time, for membership stream only. And Tapioca Weasel, of course, Tapioca Weasel as well. So some amazing people who have joined and are looking at yeah. Oh, you're doing a show after? I can link you if you've got a link, Caught in the Middle. I can definitely link you, mate. I was going to look around to see if I could throw people somewhere. But if you do have a link for that, do let me know. Just send it to me on Discord, and I should be able to throw it up. There's your channel. You don't have anything pending, mate, but I'll grab your channel and put it up anyway. Give me one sec. Yeah, so Caught in the Middle says that he is going to, if anyone's looking to hang out and talk, link up for the after show. And this is Caught in the Middle's channel. So, feel free to go in and sub, and he says that link up after the show. I'm not sure what that link up will be, but there's the channel. and I'm gonna get going. So thank you so much for joining me again. Do be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Much love to everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Have a great time. Bye.